Now, you may not have played bridge before using bidding boxes, but when you compete in the Summer Festival of Bridge in Canberra, you will be using bidding boxes. So here's a few tips and tricks on how to use them. Now, if you haven't seen bidding boxes before, basically we're replacing our written bidding sheets with cards of all the bids that we could possibly make that are actually stored in a box. And we're going to use those instead of using the bidding sheets. Now, the way that it works, each player has their own individual box with all the possible bids that you can make. And when it's your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to pull out the bid that you want to make. Now, if you're just pulling out a pass, a double, or a redouble, what you're simply doing is pulling out one card just from the front of your box. If you're actually making another bid, so something like one heart, one spade, that sort of thing, what you're actually doing is pulling cards from the top of your box. Now, it's a little bit tricky of how you go about it, but it's important to get the technique right. Now, the first thing you want to do is actually put your thumb on the bid that you're hoping to make. So if I wanted one heart, what I do is I put my thumb on the one heart bid and then put my index finger behind absolutely everything. The next thing I do is I pull out the one heart bid, and I also actually get all the bids that are going to be included basically in addition to that. So I've also got one club and one diamond behind my bid of one heart, and I want to keep all those cards. Now, if the bidding came around to me the second time and I wanted to make another bid, I use the same technique. I put my thumb on the bid that I want to make, say 3 spades, and I pull out all the cards. Now this time, when I make my bids, what I'm doing is I'm actually overlapping them so that I can see all the bids that I have actually made. Now, when this happens, what you'll notice that we can see all the bids in the right order that we've made them. We might even, for instance, add a pass on, or maybe even add a double on later in the auction. Ignore the stop ones, we don't have those. So we might add a double in later, but what we do is we make a nice row overlapping from left to right so that we know what bids that we've made in an auction. Now, at the end of the auction, what we do is we wait until the initial lead's been made by the defender who's on opening lead, and then our cards can be packed away. Now, there's a bit of a trick to packing them away. The first thing you want to do is you want to remove any doubles or passes that you use, and you want to put them back in the front of the box. Now, they might be located sort of halfway through the auction. If this happens, it's a little bit trickier. What you need to do is you need to remove it without disrupting the other cards. Now, if you've done it correctly and you've actually pulled out all the bidding cards behind the bid that you wanted to make, what you'll be able to do is actually collapse all your bids, and they'll go right back into the order that they should be, and then you can put them in the back of your box, and that'll keep them all in order. Now, this is a little bit tricky to get used to if you haven't done it before. My recommendations would be that it's essential that what you do is you put your thumb on the bid that you want and your index finger behind absolutely every other card, and then pull them out. That way you'll grab out all the cards that you want to have. The next thing we need to remember is to overlap them so that you can see every bid that you have made. Now, one thing that's a little bit interesting with bidding boxes compared to written bidding is the way that alerts work. Now, you can't actually draw a circle around your partner's bid. So instead, what you'll find that you have in your box is you actually have a card that says alert on it. Now, if your partner makes an alertable bid, say for instance a transfer or something, what you do is you pull out your alert card and you put it on the table for the opponents to see. And that way they know that the bid is alerted. Now, it still is your responsibility to make sure the opponents know that it's been alerted. So just make sure that they are quite clear that it happens, and you do it as soon as your partner makes that bid. And that way you do have the alert in progress. It's not a circle like you would do on written bidding. If there's more than one alert in an auction, what you could potentially do is just say alert, or again, grab the card and just point it to the bid that your partner's made that is alertable. So this is how we use bidding boxes. They are a bit of a challenge to get used to if you've never played with them before, but don't worry, you'll pick it up quite quickly, and I'll be there to help you on the day. Thanks for watching. See ya.